last year, towards the end of the year, we really started looking at our benchmark process and how we were using those benchmarks to shape instruction in the classroom. For a few years, we really focused on Common Core standards and learning about the different instructional techniques associated or needed with Common Core, especially what we were going to need to do with our kids to make sure that they are up to standard, especially in terms of the state testing, which is, of course, much more difficult than it ever was in the past. As part of that process this year, one of the things that we started to do was to really dive into the benchmarks and really pull them apart and look at the types of questions being asked of our kids and also the standards associated with those questions. So last week we had an opportunity to sit down in grade levels and discuss not only the tests but also past results that we've had on the benchmarks, and then also to pull out 2 or 3 standards from each benchmark, both in ELA and math, and talk about how we can focus on making sure that our kids, by the time they're at the end of the benchmark or by the time they have left the grade level that they're in, that we're guaranteeing them that there are certain standards that we feel that they need to master, and how can we use that process. And one of the things that we decided to do in working with Kim Carlson and Lori over the last few weeks is to really get and pull those standards out and to create formative assessments that we will use along the way as we lead up to benchmarks. So as you know, the formative assessments provide an opportunity to be able to look in depth at how kids are progressing with the standards so that we are helping them to master those key standards that each grade level has chosen. So far it's been a successful process. Certainly as we go along the way, we'll see how things end up after the benchmarks are given, but I'm really excited about the process and happy that we're analyzing data in depth and really looking at the benchmarks as a whole.
So this year I've involved my students in formative assessment process I made basically all of my tests are now formative assessments, where anytime I give a chapter test or any kind of lesson test, the students know that they can always retake those tests for a better grade as long as some relearning has taken place. So I took the advice of Julie Adams, and now anytime that a student wants to make up a test that they haven't done as well as they like to, they set up a meeting with me. We talk about what they can do to relearn the material. I may assign them videos. I may meet with them one-on-one and go over the material with them again, and then they get another opportunity to take the test. Personally, so far I've been using Google Forms a lot to make those assessments, and it gives me quick feedback. It also gives the students immediate feedback on which questions they've missed as well. So it gives that aspect of the immediate feedback as well. Thank you.
By going through the assessment and deciding where the students are missing, and then I sort them into piles depending on what they're missing, and I reteach them. I give them a request to retest, and then I allow them to retest a week later once I've retaught them the skills that they're missing.